I was among those skeptical, back in 2016 when Volkswagen first revealed the Atlas in Santa Monica, if I recall correctly, which was going to be a new large three-row mid-size SUV, which was going to inevitably replace the Touareg, which in my opinion at the time, I mean, if you didn't want to spend the ridiculous amount of money to get a Cayenne or even a Q7, that was your alternative. But in fact, that was part of the issue because it was just really, really expensive. But all this to say is that Volkswagen's decision turned out to be absolutely the right one, because the Atlas it was introduced in 2017 for the 2018 model year. So in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. What is that? I can't count. In about 6 or 7 model years, has demonstrated to be extremely popular. In fact, in Canada, if we consider Volkswagen import, though this is designed and built in the US for North America, it's actually the best seller. I mean, it outsells anything from the Korean automakers. And only the Toyota Highlander stands, head, waist, shoulders above the Atlas, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because I think even today most people don't associate Volkswagen with a large mid-size SUV. But a lot of people do. I mean, I kind of justify the existence of the Atlas, not that it's my job to do that, by saying that there's a good chance that because of it and the Crossport, which arrived I think for the 2020 model year, we still have a Golf R and we still have a GTI in North America. Though, I mean, to me, Volkswagen has always been a car brand, and although now something like 82% of everything they sell is an SUV, Taos, Tiguan, and Atlas. I need a moment. All right, I'm fine. Look, the bottom line with the Atlas is that now for the 2024 model year, they've revamped it again. This is still the same generation, though a lot of changes have taken place. But if you stand away from it, I mean, other than, a few changes physically, it's essentially the same vehicle, which it is. There's a good reason for that. It wasn't broke, so they didn't necessarily fix it. They just made a few adjustments that so far in this first drive event, I'm realizing were probably the right moves. So just quick recap, it was introduced for the 2018 model year. The first facelift occurred for the 2021 model year, and now this is the second facelift. But there are changes that are a little bit more important than others, especially on the inside. So this whole useless, pointless introduction now to tell you that this is my first drive with the 2024 Volkswagen Atlas. And in the following video, as per the norm, we're going to do a quick walk around, maybe spend a little bit more time on the inside, and then take it for a drive, because gone is the VR6. One moment, if I had a drink, I'd pour one out for the VR, because essentially it is dead. C'est fini, it's over. We move on. But it's, not all is lost. So please hang in there. Here we go. Okay, so the updates. I mean, the most noticeable on the outside is the front fascia. In fact, the two fascias, rear and front. What Volkswagen has essentially done here is that they've actually made the front grille a little bit more vertical, and they've stacked the headlights, which is kind of very neat, to give the impression that the front end is actually bigger and more muscular and more powerful. In fact, the grille is much larger than it previously was. And I mean, this, as you can see, this is the Exec Line R-Line, which is one of the best-selling versions in Canada. It's something like 50%, which doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess people like to spend money. I'll tell you about the pricing in a few moments. New wheels, I think there's 1 or 2 different new colors. The rear is actually quite nice. It's like a big, massive rear light bar, which at first I thought kind of looked a little silly, but now that I'm soaking in the new Atlas, I really, really enjoy it. I mean, there's a line that I'm using something that Volkswagen said, is that lighting is the new chrome, and it really, really works. The whole front end that I just showed you, the logo lights up, there's an LED bar above the headlights. It's quite nice. The only thing that I don't like is these full tailpipes. I mean, why pretend? But anyway, that's not anything new, at least at Volkswagen. All right, so pricing in the in Canada for the Atlas starts at $49,995 for the Comfort line. If you ask me, That's one of the biggest values you can get in this segment, three-row midsize SUV. I mean, you get 18-inch wheels, 10.25-inch digital IP, 12-inch touchscreen, cooled front seats, heated front seats, leatherettes, heated steering wheel, wireless CarPlay, and Android Auto, Sirius XM, power tailgate, and what more can you possibly want? All of that for $50K, and a 2-liter turbocharged engine, which has been revamped. The equivalent Atlas Crossport, because I'm also driving the Crossport, but I'm not entirely interested in the Crossport. I mean, the Atlas outsells the Crossport about 2 to 1, but it's about $1,100 less for every trim. So there's a comfort line, there's a Peak, which in my opinion is the most attractive. It's $53,995 and has 18-inch wheels, bigger tires, LEDs, slightly different scuff plates, second row shades. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, visually, I have pictures, so if you check out the gallery on my review on Motor Illustrated, you'll see them. Nicest one, in my opinion. There's the Highline, $56,995, and then this one, the Execline R-Line, $59,995, which includes the 21-inch wheels, actual leather, and a whole bunch of other features. And it's a really, really big seller. I guess we'll go on the inside. Just a quick tour because, I mean, as far as the trunk is concerned, so 583 liters of boot space right here behind the third row, 1572 behind the third row. It's not the largest in the segment, but I mean, if this isn't enough, as I've said in the past, you have to reevaluate your life needs. This is some of the new quilting and the new touches on the inside. What Volkswagen has done is they've made the Atlas just that much more premium. They've kind of tweaked refinement from 7 to 9.5, and it really shows in the materials, the fit and finish. Third row is still relatively easily accessible. I've sat back there in previous iterations, I should say. Look, there's tons of room. You can't, as far as three-row SUVs are concerned, you have absolutely everything you need here. The size of the opening always impresses me. Look how big that is. Obviously, it's for the access to the rear row, but if you only use the second row, it's kind of impressive. Sunshade, good stuff. Okay, so amongst the updates on the inside, again, the materials, this is new. Gone is the shifter. Now you have, which I always find a little dinky-ish, but because it's all electronic now, that opens up the space below the tunnels, which is, so you have a bridge in the tunnel. No, I don't know. Very, very useful. Storage is still great. The seats, as always, very comfortable, supportive. And the cross stitching is just beautiful. The color contrast is superb. Very important thing, I'll do it from the inside, is the steering wheel. So this is the first new generation old steering wheel, right? No haptic button, touchy thingies that are really annoying, like in the Jetta and other cars. So mega massive points for Volkswagen for doing this. 10.25 IP. There's your 12-inch touchscreen. I'll start it up. Unfortunately, in a way, it's the new infotainment system, which has a certain learning curve, but the good news is that it kind of, I think the bugs have been worked out since I drove the Mark 8 Golf R and the GTI. Everything kind of operates a lot smoother, right? So, switching from menus and actually selecting whatever, it works well enough. My only poopy concern is the fact that HVAC controls are gone, and here's your drive mode. I'll just show this to you now. So a bunch of drive modes. Assist, so you do have a few shortcuts, but even so. Learning curve, not terrible, not great, not the best, definitely far from being the best, but the screen itself is beautiful. The graphics are lovely. Storage, so your wireless phone charger right here, storage. I mean, it really works out as an SUV where you can move into great door pins, as always. And the dashboard, I mean, this portion lights up depending on the trim, which in the Execline R-Line it does. I mean, it's lovely. It should be a little bit more subtle, but I mean, people think that this makes for a more premium SUV. And as always, visibility is really, really good. Heads-up display, that's always a nice touch. Until you get to over here. I mean, the base of the pillar and the covering for the mirror mount is huge. But you know what? It all really works, and I guess that's it for that. Now for the drive.
Turn right onto Scenic View parking area.
I apologize now. She's going to be annoying this entire section of the video.
Now turn left onto
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so the very annoying. The driving experience has not been transformed, but has changed at the same time. She's going to be really annoying. Okay. I just told you, I mean, the VR6 is gone. In its stead remains the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, the EA 888, which is an engine that we all essentially know. I mean, it's offered in various versions. A number of its versions are found in the GLI, the GTI, the Golf R, now this, and the Tiguan. It's just various output and tunes. The big thing with the Atlas, or for the Atlas and the Crossport, is that now HP has been bumped up by 35 horsepower to 269, and torque is up about, I think, 15 pounds, give or take, now to 273. The key element here is torque, because now, compared to the VR6, which was, if memory serves, 268 peak torque at like 4,500 RPM, now you get all of 273 pound-feet of torque from something like 1,600 to 4,500 RPM. So effectively, you get the impression that you're moving at a much quicker rate of speed, but like a lot of turbos, and this being considerably large and heavy SUV, I mean, the power kind of tapers off, but at least, you know, you feel like you're moving. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't miss the VR, but I miss the VR. I mean, the 4-cylinder, it's a little bit noisy. The VR made not that much noise, but it still was far more pleasant. And I think that's about the end of the complaints that I can come up with for the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that is now standard for all Atlas and Atlas Crossport in North America. 8-speed automatic transmission is back. 4Motion in Canada is standard. You can get a front-wheel drive Atlas, which is still weird to me, but you know, markets are different, requirements vary. The overall driving impression is as it was in the past. I've done thousands and thousands of kilometers with Atlases over the years, and steering is still very light, no matter what the adjustments are through the drive modes. Brake pedal still feels perfectly fine. Everything is good. Everything works as you would expect it to. And what I noticed early on, and then kind of have changed my mind, and now I'm back to it, is that despite the 21-inch wheels, ride quality is actually really good. I mean, the roads that we're on now in almost central, southern New York State, in the Catskills, are not perfect, but they're still generally nicer and smoother than what we'd find in Quebec. Ride is nice. I mean, it's not crashy, it's not thrashy, it's even tempered. Let's call it that. I mean, to summarize the Atlas, the 2024 changes, is that it is visually more impactful, the interior is far more refined, and as far as the drivability, it's only marginally evolved. Now, one big advantage you'll get with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine is that fuel consumption should drop, though I don't have the number right now, but I will have it in my review on Motor Illustrated, so do check out the numbers there. I mean, in the segment, to be quite honest, I mean, the Highlander with the new 2.4 turbo is a lot peppier. I mean, there's a lot more going on. Somehow it feels sportier, as I've said in my video, which is probably not out at the point that when this one will be out, but in my review, which probably won't. No, it is out. See, I'm trying to keep track of time, and it's very difficult. It just transforms the driving experience, whereas this is kind of more or less the same. It doesn't feel as quick as an Ascent either, and well, now the CX-9 is dead, so we don't have to worry about that. But the CX-90, you know, is still a lot peppier than this. But maybe that's not the reason why you buy one of these SUVs. You want styling and you want capability, and all of that is absolutely built into the 2024 Atlas and the Atlas Crossport. But again, I mean, for $1,100 more over the Crossport, you get, you know, the big Atlas. Maybe you don't need the third row, but you don't have to use it. It's there, but you don't have to use it, and you get a lot more trunk space. Anyhow, that's it. I'm done. I like it, but I think I go for a Highlander instead. Oh, final point. Right, when I say that it outsells, say, the Pilot and a number of other imports, SUVs like the Explorer and the Traverse and all that still outsell the Atlas. And that's it. Now I'm really done.